Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Welcome to my video. This is Toni with Eat and Travel with Toni. Today we're making some strawberry shortcake cookies, y'all. I got my order for an event for 2 dozen strawberry shortcake cookies. So we're about to make these bad boys, make the dough in this particular video. So I'm making a wraps, y'all. Y'all didn't know. All right now. Oh my God. I'm rhyming all around today. All right now. I'm a fire spitter, y'all. It's okay. Like I said, y'all, this video, we actually making strawberry shortcake cookies. So, of course, I'm Toni with Eat and Travel with Toni. Make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And then click the notification bell to receive all the videos that upload from this point here on out. And just in case you're wondering why in the world is 3 sticks of butter in this bowl, I'm actually making a double batter. I mean, a double batter. A double recipe, because I need, like I said, I need 24 cookies. So my cookies are about 5.5 ounces. So I need, like I said, a double batch of these cookies. So like I said, y'all, welcome to this video, and I hope y'all have subscribed. What I always say, if y'all ain't seen the videos in the past, go check those out too. I say that all the time, but definitely go back if you want to check out some more eating videos of me eating stuff, making things, making food, baking food, traveling, that type of thing. Go and check it out, y'all. Like I said, don't be afraid to go check it out, and don't be afraid to share my videos with your family, friends, social media, that kind of thing too, to let other folks know what is going on in Toni's world, y'all. So like I said, definitely, like I said, I'm glad that y'all are here. Like I said, I want to give y'all just a little bit of, I guess, some history, because this is actually officially our 3rd year here in southern Arizona in Tucson. So I just want to give y'all kind of a little bit of my story, I guess, when I first got here. Actually, before I got here, before we even came to Tucson, we were living in St. Louis, Missouri, which you'll see that in some of the other videos I've done and whatever, and that I've talked about as well. So before we came, my baking story, I guess I should say, before we came, I had already been baking for like 20 years prior. Been making pound cakes, cookies, the same types of things I'm making now, cupcakes, all those types of things. I decided before we came to, of course, to have a specific focus on cookies, because of course I love making cookies. And then of course a few years before that, we had driven down to Disney World in Florida from St. Louis. Went through Georgia, Tennessee, all those types of places. And I met this guy that was, he was a cookie maker down in Atlanta. I think his name is Shane's Cookies or something like that. And of course he was just saying, just uplifting things. Because I let him know that I bake and that kind of thing. I know how to make cookies and cupcakes. And he was just saying, just go ahead with your dream and just keep doing what you know how to do. I put it that way. So like I said, since that time, like I said, I've been practicing with like different things, and my cookies aren't like, some of them probably like this. I don't know. I have no idea, because I haven't looked back at his page in a long time. But like I said, I know cookies are cookies, so there's only so many ways you can make cookies. I put it that way. Stuffed, unstuffed, flat, not flat, whatever you're gonna do with them. Topped with stuff. There's the only ways you can really make anything really when it comes to the baking world. But like I said, all that was before we moved here to Tucson. And before we moved, I had to look up the laws as far as the baking laws here in Arizona, because I had no idea what they were. So of course, looking them up, and for those who want to bake at home and cook at home, just know that some states will let. I think every state lets you bake at home, but they have certain rules. Of course, the cottage food laws, like cottage cheese, it's the cottage food laws. So you're going to have to search cottage food law in Alabama, in Florida, whichever state you live in, to find out exactly what your laws are and what your state will allow for you to bake with when you're doing it at home. And some states, like Arizona, they allow you to cook at home and sell it as well now. But that's not every state, but that is some states. Arizona's one. But like I said, back to the baking. Like I said, you have to look up your, your cottage food law in your state to figure out what type of things you can make in your state. I'm pretty sure you can make cookies and different things. Like I said, most of the time it's talking about those foods you cannot make, or the baked items that you cannot make, are those items that are time, temperature sensitive, like cheesecakes and buttercream icing and those types of things. But like I said, there's always ways around things. You could substitute things to make different icings and cakes and stuff like that. But like I said, look at your state to see what exactly is allowed. Because you don't want to be out here just baking and baking. You're supposed to have a license, and you're supposed to get your safe serve and all this kind of stuff. Because Arizona, you have to get your safe serve license. And I think that was about $70-some. I had to, of course, take a study online, They had like all these videos I had to watch. I just did it again actually back in late May, early June. I did the testing again because my certificate was up. So like I said, definitely you have to see what your state wants you to have in order for you to bake at home. Most times it's not hard to get those things at all. I know a lot of folks seem to think that it's difficult or it's hard or it's too much or this type of thing. Just know it's not too much to get anything. If that's your dream, if that's your passion, you love to bake and make breads or whatever it is at home, make candy apples, whatever it is, and you want to do those things, you have to get the proper paperwork for those things. You don't want somebody out here getting sick off your items and that kind of thing. Make sure that you have that stuff, y'all. I know I got off on a tangent, but I just want to say all that just to make sure that you know that you can do it too. You can have a home baking business too, not just me, but you can too. If that's your dream and that's a gift that God gave you. Make that thing work. So like I said, getting back to the story, y'all. I got all those things, my safe serve, all that kind of stuff before coming to Arizona. Like a month before coming to Arizona. And I decided then, like a little bit, maybe like a few months beforehand, that I was going to focus on cookies, of course. That's why it's called Cookies and Ish. But of course, still make the ish, which is my cupcakes, pound cakes, candy apples, whatever other things I'm making, sweet treats, I put it that way. So I've made some everything, I guess I can say that, over the last 20-something years. I definitely have made some everything. So like I said, I definitely want to focus, not just doing cookies all the time. And at some points I do cookies all the time, but cause I sell cookie boxes and that kind of thing too. But like I said, I'm starting now again to add some more ish to my repertoire, I guess I should say. But like I said, y'all, I did that before I moved. And like I said, y'all we got her mid-July 2022. Actually, it was on the 18th, actually. We just celebrated, like I said, our three-year anniversary here in Tucson about like a week or so ago. And once we got here, the following 2 weeks on August the 1st, I actually had a vendor event. I was looking around for vendor events and trying to find something to go to so I could sell my cookies and get folks to know who, get folks starting to taste my treats and stuff. So of course I made cookies. I think I made some sliced pound cake and stuff like that. Took it everybody. That was my first event. I almost sold out actually. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, this tastes better than the other C place," and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, definitely gave me some great feedback. Like I said, everybody loved everything that I had, and they still do to this day. Love everything that I have. So like I said, definitely that was my introduction to Tucson. Like I said, coming here, I had a vendor event like the next 2 weeks. My partner went with me to, of course, help me to sell, to set up, and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, it's just been on and popping since then. I've done, of course, other vendor events, outside events. The only thing I would say, because it's hot here, that first event, my cookies were sweating in the bags. I had a few, I guess I had one in August. I think I had 1 or 2 in August and 1 or 2 in September. That same, like I said, within 90 days of moving her. So, of course, I was a busy bee, but still, like I said, it's still hot here. So, of course, my cookies were sweating, and I had to figure out what to do. I started using my cooler, putting cool packs in the cooler and that kind of thing to keep my cookies cool, and using my little refrigerated bag to keep them cool in that bag, too, so they wouldn't melt and all this kind of stuff. Because with chocolate chips and cookies, it'll go soft, the cookie sweats, and the cookie just be ruined. Luckily, that it didn't happen to, nothing was ruined. People still ate it, that kind of thing. They said everything was good. But like I said, definitely that's something that you have to think about when you're doing pop-up events. And of course, just like I said, moving fast forward, I've done many events here. Still doing pop-up events now. Here in town at the local one of the local breweries, once or twice a month. Lately it's been twice a month. And like I said, it's getting to be, of course, like the end of summer, going into fall, and I'll be looking for some more events and that kind of thing as well. Like I said, I haven't given up my cookie business at all, which I said I was. I was all upset about things, and this wasn't working out, that wasn't working out. But just know that when you have a business, that's always going to happen. You always going to have those days where you're like ready to give up and ready to stop. My main thing is, do not stop, y'all. Be pissed off for that day, for that few days, for that week, and get right back into it. That's what I kept doing. And not just with that business, I have a coaching business as well. Or I had a coaching business as well. I'm not coaching right now at all. I'm focused on my cookies. But like I said, I was wanting to stop that and stop this and stop that. Because like I said, y'all, it does get frustrated. You're out here doing all this work. You're doing this, you're doing that. You don't see the benefits from it right away. Or sometimes at all. I'll put it that way either. And like I said, sometimes it takes a little while for things to kick off and pop off. Luckily, my cookies, my baking business, anytime I've ever had one, it's always made money. And it's made money since I was back in my late teens. Well, I guess early 20s when I first got my first apartment. Late teens, early 20s. When I first got my first apartment. And I did stop in between, I guess between now and then. I had stopped a few years actually, or a year or so, or that kind of thing. A lot of stuff was going on, like I said, but I did hop right back into it once I had a chance to. And just know that those kind of things are going to happen. But like I said, the baking business has always made me money, y'all. And I'm sure y'all got some kind of craft or some kind of something y'all do out there that always makes you money too. Or that you could make money off of. I guess I put it that way. Get out there and do it, y'all. What the heck are you scared of? Leap and learn how to grow on your way down. I know, I'm sure you've heard that little quote many a times. Get out there and do it, y'all. Like I said, there's no way you're going to find out whether things are going to work unless you actually do the things that you think ain't going to work. Okay. But you got to change that attitude as well. It is going to work. I am going to make money. I am going to be successful. You have to change that mindset as well. Don't keep thinking everything is not going to work. I'm telling y'all that. I'm telling myself too, because sometimes I get in that mode. I'm tired of this. This ain't working. That ain't working. I need to do something else and all this kind of stuff. Like I said, I had to learn how to shift my mindset as well. I'm still shifting my mindset over the years. Still working on that. It ain't going to change just in one time, one day. You still got to work on that. I don't care what kind of business you have. So like I said, definitely, like I said, it's just been a journey since I've been here. I guess I put it that way. And like I said, I've enjoyed the journey to a certain extent. I just, the main thing, I know everybody moves to different places. They have different things and different setups and the way that they do things. But the one thing that I don't care for too much is all the vendor events all the time. I don't know if they have vendor. I know back home in St. Louis they didn't have vendor events, pop-up events like this. It was like one of those specialty things that you got every once in a while. But here in, I don't know if it's the whole Arizona, but I can just say here in Tucson, every single day you got multiple events going on somewhere around town. And for small business owners, for actually any kind of business owner, I don't care who you are, you can't just keep going to different, you can go to different events and make some money, but it's not going to be a sustainable business because in order to have a sustainable business, you have to have repeat customers. A lot of times at these events, your customers aren't returning and they don't know where you at unless they see you at another pop-up. I don't like that kind of stuff, y'all. That's why I decided to, I'm still doing the events. I'm usually stationary, or like I said, at the local brewery here, one of the brewery, I can't pronounce that, the brew houses, y'all, Lord have mercy. But like I said, that's why I started shifting a few months ago to, of course, create cookie boxes that I can, of course, people can, of course, pick up, I can deliver or ship. That's why I started creating those. And of course, I've sold a few. It hasn't been a whole lot. I just started this with the cookie boxes like has it been 2 months? I don't even know if it's been 2 months. Maybe a month, almost 2 months, I'll just say 2 months ago. So of course, like I said, I've sold a few. I'm just starting to drop my August cookie box and that kind of thing. My sweet heat box. So like I said, I'm trying to drop that now. I've posted one little thing today, and I'm gonna keep posting about it and talking about it and that kind of thing as well as I make these cookies. I guess I put it that way too. So I got to get some more cookies made. Cookie doughs made, and of course start baking up some cookies over this weekend. So like I said, definitely I'm trying to start switching my own business model because like I said here, like I said, it's not especially when you're baking or selling like jewelry or different things. You can make money, like I said, from the events, but it's not sustainable, at least to me, for repeat customers to come back and order something for like their event or something like that that's going on. And like I said, it seems like an uphill battle here to do that. I guess I put it that way. Like I said, I know this is a new landscape for me, but I'm still learning. But like I said, definitely that's what I see here with the businesses. And like I said, I don't like that too much, but like I said, I didn't create it, so I have to deal with what I got. And like I said, I'm thinking, like I said, I talked to my chat GPT, my homeboy, and like I said, he let me know, some of the things that I can, of course, do with the business. And of course, I started creating the cookie boxes. I said I want to have a subscription model business a long time ago, years ago, never did do it. So I guess this is my cookie box business. I put it that way. And like I said, I'm just getting into it. But like I said, I have sold a few boxes, looking to sell more. Like I said, I put all the information for the month that you look at this video. You will see click on my link, of course, www.cookiesish.com. And like I said, I'll put that in the description so you can check out the box that's currently popping. I guess I put it that way, and that's currently on sale. So that you can order you one, or if you don't want one, don't eat cookies, that's fine. Gift one to somebody else that's, like I said, my boxes are all occasion. So gift one to somebody else that has a birthday, that has an anniversary, that's having a hard time, that you want to brighten their spirits. All my boxes come with, of course, if you haven't seen the video, go back and look at what the cookie boxes, how they're made up. I did do a video recently that you're going to see with that on there. But like I said, definitely it has like a little card in there, whether it's a thank you card or whether it's an uplifting card or a grieving sympathy card. Like I said, definitely I put all those types of things in there for a reason. Like I said, to uplift the spirits and give somebody a smile on their face whenever they eat my treats. I know that always happens. That's what a lot of folks always tell me. I love to see the smiles. I love to meet the people. I love to see that they're enjoying themselves with my treats, y'all. They always, like I said, always give me good, great feedback. I've been getting great feedback since I've started. And like I said, definitely, I love that. So like I said, that's what I do when it comes to that. And like I said, creating cookie boxes just added another layer for me. And I actually love that, actually. I actually want to do this full time. At some point, hopefully, I'll do it full time. But like I said, it has to get off the ground first, y'all. I'll get there. Like I said, don't worry. I'll definitely get there, y'all. Don't worry, okay? And I'm telling y'all, whatever business you got, whatever thing you got going on, just know that you can get it off the ground too. That's why I'm doing this particular video, this particular video, while I'm baking these strawberry shortcake cookies. Like I said, you can do whatever you put your mind to. You just have to get out there and do it. Nobody's going to wait on you. You already have the idea, go ahead and do it. Nobody's going to wait on you at all. Other folks are going to start creating stuff that you want. You can be like, I had that idea first. I've done that many a times. Got an idea, God-given idea, wrote it down, never did nothing with it. Years later, here come my exact business. The exact name, I just found one of them. I'm like, what the heck, the same name? I was going to name my doggone business. I'm like, that's something. But you snooze, you lose. In the heavenly realm and the earthly realm, I guess I put it that way. Like I said, that's something we all got to realize, y'all. You can get out here and do this with all this craziness going on with the world nowadays. You're going to have some type of backup plan besides just one job. Just know that. Inflation, all this stuff going up, all the tariffs and all this kind of stuff. A lot of stuff is going on nowadays. This is 2025. And you have got to have some type of backup business. I guess I put it that way. Small home business that you have, some kind of craft, some type of creativity that you know how to do, something that you know how to make. Like I said, majority of the time you can turn those into businesses and folks will pay you for it. But you just got to put it out there and start doing it. Not just laying on your idea, ain't saying nothing about your idea. Nobody knows you even have it except for you and your cat and your dog at home. Get out there and do those things, y'all. Don't sit up here and just slack off. Just get up there and do it. Ain't no reason why you can't. I don't want to curse, but get up off your butt and go out there and do it. Ain't no reason why you can't, like I said. I hope this video is inspiring somebody to get up off your butt and go ahead and do it. I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure of that. Ain't no reason, like I said, why you can't. Except for that you're scared and you feel that you don't know what the next steps are going to be or how things are going to look. You're trying to make it perfect. Ain't nothing perfect. We all live imperfect within our imperfections. Get out there and do it. Take that leap and grow your wings on the way down. You ain't got to know the whole plan. God knows that. You ain't got to know that whole plan. Nobody's going to know the whole plan. There's no blueprint to anything. There's steps. There's ways you can get there, yeah. But there's no definite blueprint that things going to turn out the way that you want them to. It never happens that way, usually anyway, at least from in my life. And the lives of people that I've seen as a social worker too, it's never happened the way that everybody wants it to. It's going to happen the way God wants it to. So step out on faith, y'all. Get out there and start them businesses, y'all. Like I said, I'm hoping y'all enjoying this video. I have enjoyed this video. Again, this is Toni with Eat and Travel with Toni. Make sure that y'all, of course, subscribe to the channel here. And I'm going to go ahead and get my butt out here. The music will play itself out, y'all. Peace out and have a good one. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks for being here, y'all. This is Toni with Eat and Travel with Toni. And this is, of course, me showing you how I put together my Strawberry Shortcake Cookies. I have a business called Cookies and Ish that's based out of Tucson, Arizona. And, of course, you can order your cookie box as well. The link will be in the description of the video. But like I said, let's go ahead and get into this, y'all. I just want to share something that was on my heart today. Some things that I've always known and experienced, but of course I don't think I've really shared them with the world. I guess I put it that way. And some of y'all, I'm pretty sure, especially if you bake or make crafts or sell things, I'm sure a lot of y'all probably face this too. But like I said, I just want to bring this to the forefront today. And what I'm bringing to the forefront today is that some people won't understand your hustle. Some folks are going to look at your business, whether it's me selling cookies, whether it's you selling cakes, or whether it's you selling jewelry, whether it's you selling some shoes, whatever t-shirts you're making, whatever you're selling, people are going to look at you as though that's not important to you, or it shouldn't be important to you. And whatever else they got going on should be way more important. And I experienced that again today. And like I said, that's not my first time ever experiencing that at all. It's definitely not my first time. But one thing I want to say to myself and say to you all as well, those who, of course, are having a small business at home, making stuff, doing crafts, all those types of things, just know that your business is important to you, whether you want to call it a craft business, a hobby business, whatever you want to call it. Mine is a cookie business. But whatever you want to call it, just know that it's important to you. Just because other folks don't see your hustle and don't really care about the money that you're making and don't really care about what you're doing because they got something that they quote unquote says is more important, just know that you have to make your business important to you. Like I said, they won't see it and they don't have to see it. It's not their gift. It's not what God gave them. They don't have to see it. God gave you that talent to that talent and that gift to use. Go ahead and use it. But like I said, others, especially when it comes to like close family and friends, a lot of them, I can't say all of them, but there are many out there, I put it that way. You probably experienced this too, especially with those close to you, feel that your business is just a bunch of talk. And like I said, you have to know that your business is your business to you and what it's doing for you, of course, whether it's creating freedom for you at some point, whether it's creating a second income, whatever it's doing for you, just know that it should be important to you, no matter what those folks say. They can turn their nose up at it. They can talk to you like like that business doesn't matter. Just know that if it matters to you, then keep doing what you're doing. Now, like I said before, everybody's not going to understand your hustle. It's not going to understand why you're doing what you're doing, even though they may see that it's a waste of time or that it's not even necessary. I work a full-time job, and this cookie business is my side job side hustle until I can, of course, make it full-time. And folks wondering why in the world you're trying to create cookies and do all this stuff, working full-time. Why don't you just depend on your business? Well, I guess that's coming, y'all. I said business income. But why don't you just depend on your work income and forget about that little side business? Like I said, other folks have dreams. They may not have any dreams about quitting their job or getting up off their ass to do something, but you have a dream just like I have a dream. We have talents and gifts that God gave us that we're actually trying to put into use and that we're making money off of and that we're happy doing and that we feel proud of ourselves that we're doing that. Like I said, others won't. Others can't see past the job that they're working. Of course I work in the office. I'm home twice a week, but I work in the office all the other days. And sometimes those 2 days a week at home turn into days in the office too. But like I said, you have some folks who just have a one-track mind who don't see a side business and a side hustle, anything that you're doing at home in the evening to make extra money. They don't see it as being necessary. They're stuck on that job, stuck on doing what they're doing, which is fine. I'm not knocking jobs at all. A job has helped me create the business that I got. They're my first investor. And if you have a business, you have a job, that job is your first investor too, into your business. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had the money to start that business. I wouldn't have either. But just know that some people do have that one-track mind, that the job is all that they need. With all the stuff going up, with all the things going on in this world, how unreliable jobs are going nowadays, people getting laid off, my coworkers getting fired too, just like everybody else. I'm a social worker, so I work in social services. So I see this, I have been seeing this since the beginning of the year, since our new president took office. And it's not fun to see. And of course, I'm not saying that I'm scared or nervous or that kind of thing, but I do have a little bit of fear because I have no idea how my job is going to be. the job that I have, I mean, it depends on like the state fund, like Medicaid. We have grants, we have Medicare. All those programs are looking to be cut at some point. And some of them already have. We have the Meals on Wheels program. I work with the older adults. So a lot of those programs have been being cut already. And folks in departments have been losing their jobs. It's not just my job, it's all the jobs across this country. And like I said, the business I'm creating, besides the new president coming in this year, this business has been going on for 3 years? 3 years since I've been here in Southern Arizona. And before that, it was going on in St. Louis, Missouri for years. Sometimes I quit, sometimes I stopped because I had other life, and I guess life was just happening. I put it that way. Life was just lifing. All of us gonna have that. So yes, I had to get back into it at certain points because I stopped because things are going on. Had a divorce, had another breakup after almost 8 years. Had all this stuff going on. Lost people along the way, grieving and different things. And that's gonna happen to all of us. But just know that if your business is your business and you want to keep that business going, you're gonna have to go ahead and work that business, regardless as to what anybody say about you, and that is not necessary. That you should just work your full-time job and be done with it. Nobody has straight up said that in those words. But like I said, some of the comments I've gotten and some of the people asking about my business and you're working too and this kind of thing, you can kind of gauge some folks how they feel about it. I guess I put it that way, including family. Family, friends, co-workers, whoever else knows that you have a business and work full-time. And like I said, that's something that I had to realize that I'm okay with. I'm okay with them saying those things. Because it's not hurting my feelings. I know exactly what the hell I'm here to do. And I know I'm going to keep on doing it. I put it that way as well. Regardless as to what they say, like I said, I don't take everything to heart. I don't take everything personal. Back in the day, yeah, I did. Back when I first started my first job in social work. Working for the state of Missouri. Doing child abuse and neglect. Yes, some of those things in the first year, maybe, I was taking some of those things to heart and taking some of the work home with me. But after that, I knew I had to stop. And ever since then, you could say you could say what you want to say to me. I'm fine with that. I either take it or leave it. If I don't feel that it's true, I'm not going to use it. I can care less who you are and what position you have in my life. But if it's something that I feel that I can apply to my own life that's going to make my life better, then yeah, I will use it. But any negativity or sad comments about, oh, you should just keep your job and don't worry about that business, you're going to be stressed and all these kind of things, okay. If I'm looking to make this a full-time job/business, then I will be stressed. But I know that this is the gift that God gave me that I've always had. And I've been baking. I'm 40, I'll be 49 in a few months. I've been baking since I was on my own, my first apartment, age 19, 20. It's been a long ass time. Like I said, some of those times I did stop and because life was just life and things going on, but I got right back into it once I got a chance to. And of course, was trying to learn business along the way. Nobody I know had a business growing up and had any business skills to, of course, share with me. So, of course, a lot of the times when I was trying to start the business, I started many different businesses, making candy bouquets. Of course, baking was always there, but making candy bouquets, I made liquor bouquets, I made rugs, I made all this stuff at one point. Well, at different points throughout my life, I made T-shirts, I made all types of things. Everything, of course, kept failing because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was, of course, a relationship coach. I'm actually a certified relationship and life coach. I only sold one thing over the last, I don't know how many, 5, 7 years, something like that. I wasn't good at that business, but that's okay. Like I said, that's part of me who I am anyway as a social worker. I've always done those kind of things. Coaching and I can't say therapy because it's not this technically quote unquote the same as therapy. But of course, life and relationship coaching, that's what I've always dealt with. So of course, that's always in my heart. That ain't going nowhere. I'm not coaching nobody at this time. I'm focused more on my cookie business. But of course, I share different wisdom tips like this and stuff like that. I've always done that. I'm going to keep on doing that. I put it that way. Because like I said, that's who I am. Not just baking, but I am that person who is the motivator, who is the inspirator. Is that a word, y'all? I have no, I don't know, y'all. Empowerment or aider. I don't know what the word is, but the person who's always trying to uplift and let folks know that they can be who they are and still do what they do, regardless of what anybody got to say about it. Speaking the truth and unapologetically. I've always been that person since I was a little kid, telling folks what to do when I said do it, and the way I wanted it done, and the way they should want it done. But of course, as I got older, of course, I know I can't just force people to do stuff. But like I said, as a kid, I was called a bully. I was always like this. Is what they claim I was a bully. I wasn't a bully, y'all, so don't even take that. Even though I probably was, but still. But like I said, definitely, y'all, like I said, everybody ain't gonna understand your hustle. It don't matter what kind of background you got, what's going on. You're married, your husband making enough money, your wife making enough money, whatever it is, to support the whole household. But if you have a dream and if you have a gift and a talent that God gave you, and you want to use it to create whatever you're gonna create and make some money off of it, then go ahead. Don't let nobody stop you from doing that. I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your husband, your wife, whoever it is, your best friend of 55 years. I don't care who it is. Don't let nobody stop you from doing that. Like I said, everybody does not have your dream. Everybody is not going to at all is going to understand where your push and your hustle comes from when it comes to your business and why you're doing it. Yes, you can tell folks the why of your business, why, I guess, all day long and until you're blue in the face. Everybody's not going to understand that because that's not their path. That's not their journey. Like I said, that's not what God gave them. God gave that to you, not them. Like I said, I definitely hope this helps somebody along the way to realize that you just keep doing what you're doing. And I was about to say F them. I just used the F word, but F them. You don't have to listen to anything that they saying. You can but take it back. You can listen to it all day long, but you ain't got to apply it to your life is what I'm talking about. I don't care what it ain't even got to be about business. I don't care what it is. If it's about the way you dress, the way your hair look, the way your clothes, shoes, I don't know what it is, the where you work at, whatever it is, how you raise your kids, how you run your household, whatever it is. I don't care what the hell they say. You take what you want to take and leave the rest. You ain't got to take nothing to heart. That's your life, and you want to live your life however you going to live your life. I don't care if you got 15 husbands. Live your life the way you want to live your life. I could care less. You should care less about what anybody else is saying about you. Live your life and don't be afraid to live it. We only got one life, y'all. If you sitting up here worried about whatever Tom, Dick, and Harry and whatever Susan, Joan, and Beth, whatever everybody's saying about you, you ain't going to even have time to live your life and be happy living that life. You're going to be so stressed out trying to do what they want you to do. You ain't going to be able to, like I said, to be who you are. That is important to me, and it should be important to you too. I'm telling you to be who you are unapologetically. I can't pronounce that word, but y'all get what I'm saying. Like I said, don't worry about those folks. In relationships, life, and especially in business. Keep doing what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and get off here, y'all. I hope that this message reached somebody's ears today and put a light bulb in their forehead. I hope it did. Because you don't have time to live for them. You only got time to live for you. So again, this is Toni. We Eat and Travel with Toni. And of course, I started off talking about, of course, my cookie business, Cookies and Ish. And it's www.cookies, COOKIES, and AND, ish.com. And I'll put that information in the description of this video as well for y'all to check it out and get y'all a cookie box. And if you don't want one right now, gift one to somebody else that's having a celebration coming up. A wedding, a birthday, anniversary. Somebody else, I'm sure, wants some cookies too. The holiday times are coming up soon. Order cookie boxes for the holidays. So like I said, with that, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get my butt off here. I want to thank y'all for listening. My St. Louis accent is coming out. But I want to thank y'all for listening, y'all. And like I said, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell to receive all the videos uploaded from this point here on out. Y'all, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next video.